everyone, this is Jessica from the Crystal Lake Public Library, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make an origami moving Flexagon. So to get started, you want a standard printer sheet of paper. These tend to be 8.5 by 11 inches. Put the shorter sides on the right and the left, and the longer on the top and the bottom. And then the first fold we're doing is folding it right to left, matching up the shorter sides. Open your paper back up, and now we're going to be folding diagonally. Take your right top edge and match it up to that center crease we just made. This will make that nice diagonal fold that you see, and then do the same with the left side. Left top edge to that center crease. Now notice the rectangle that we have on the bottom and the triangle on top. Take the rectangle and fold it up on top of the triangle. Make sure that your center creases of the rectangle and triangle are lining up. And then make this fold several times. So flip your paper over, fold the rectangle the opposite way, and then keep going. We want this crease to be really nice and strong. Next, we're going to be tearing the rectangle from the triangle. So how you do this is rip the paper a little bit along that edge that we really creased down, and then lay your paper flat with your left hand over the triangle, right hand slowly tugging the edge of the rectangle. They should come apart fairly nicely. If you have a few little bumps and things there, that's totally fine and totally normal. Now open your paper fully back up. Make sure your long sections are at the top and the bottom. And then we're going to be folding the paper in half, matching up those longer sides. So bottom edge to top edge. Then unfold it, and now we're doing quarters. So take your bottom edge, fold it up to the center crease, and then your top edge, fold that down to the center crease. Now keeping the top and the bottom folded like they are in the video, take your right side and fold it over to the left side, so we're folding it in half this other way. And then fold it into quarters, so right edge to that center crease we made, left edge to the center crease we made. Then open up the right and the left flaps, and this time we're going to be folding it into eighths. So take your right edge, fold it into that quarter crease that we made, and then take your right edge again and fold it all the way over to the left quarter crease. So the crease all the way on the left side. And then we're going to do the same with the left side. So first fold it into that first crease that we have on the left. And then looking over to the right, you'll notice that we have more creases this time. The one you want to match it up to is that second crease on the right side. Not the first, not the third. That's not going to give us the even eighths that we need. So make sure you're matching it up to that second crease. Now open up the right and the left sides, and I'm going to be drawing lines just so you can see the diagonal lines we're going to be folding a little bit better. You can copy me if you want to, but it's not necessary. For those who might get a little bit confused with all the diagonal lines, I would recommend maybe tracing out the lines a little bit. So if you do want to draw the lines, it's going to be over 2 and down 1 across these little squares that we folded. And make sure you're doing it for the whole length of the paper. Then we're going to do the same going the opposite direction. So these are diagonals going in a crisscross pattern. So again, we go over 2 of the little squares and down 1. If you want to draw the lines but you don't like the over 2 down 1 pattern, think of it this way. So we have 4 large squares. Each one has 4 little squares within it, and we're drawing long X's across the top 2 squares and the bottom 2 squares. Now we're going to be folding along all of those diagonals that I drew on my paper. The easiest way for most people is actually to flip your paper over and fold backwards along all those diagonal lines. So if you have them drawn, what you'll do is go just until you see the markings of your line. Then that means that you're folding right along it. If you didn't draw them, what you're going to be doing is matching up the corners of those little squares, which are easier to see on the back side because you don't have the 2 flaps to worry about. As you fold, make sure that you're grabbing both of those flaps as you're pulling the paper backwards, if you're doing it on the back side like I am. Because you want all of those layers of your paper to be folded. Now if you folded it on the back side like I did, what we're going to have to do is flip your paper back over to the front, so you'll see the midline with the two flaps on the top and the bottom. And we're going to have to redo all of those folds again, this time bringing the paper forward, so we're actually reversing all of those folds that we made. It is worth a little bit extra work because we know that the diagonal lines we did are as precise as they can be by doing it both ways. Now take your right and your left edges and bring them towards the center. One of them should be a little bit larger than the other. Take your shorter edge, and what we're going to do is stick that in the pocket of the larger edge. So see how we have the one long side and then the two little flaps? That will create our pocket for the little bit smaller side. So put it in there, and then after it's in, we're just going to be pushing the edges together. When you're done, the two square sections should be laying completely within one another, so they're like one. Now see the top triangle and bottom triangle? What you want to do is fold those backwards and towards the center of this shape. And then to make sure those creases are really nice, fold in half along both of those triangles in that line to just make sure those edges are really nice and crisp. Then we're going to be doing the same thing on all three of the sides. So we just did one, now we're doing it on the second, and then we'll do it on the third side. From here, see the diamond shapes at the top and the bottom now? What we want to do is we want to push these backwards towards the center as well. So they should come pretty easily. Just push at those top points and bottom points, and they should meet together in the center. Do that on all three sides. And then your Flexagon is almost complete, but what we're going to do is you have to start moving it slowly. It's not going to want to start turning automatically. The paper and the creases aren't used to that yet. So what you see me doing here is I'm just going slowly, and as I go, some of these edges might pop out or they might bubble up. Just work with your paper a little bit, smooth it out, maybe recrease a couple of those edges, and just slowly work it around in the circles, going both ways, so pushing the ends in and pulling the ends out. The more you work on it, the more easily your Flexagon is going to move. And that's all I have for you today, so thank you for watching, and your origami Flexagon is now complete. Congratulations!